Warning: the following video might contain moments that might be too disturbing for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Does anybody remember that show that used to air on Toon Disney called The House of Mouse? If you do, then it's about Mickey Mouse in this house showing animated short films, musical numbers, etc. in front of various Disney characters in a nightclub in Main Street, Toontown. But what I find out is that there was actually an episode which was supposed to be the final episode of the entire show. I actually managed to find this at my local Best Buy near my house. The cashier told me that it was $19, so I paid her the money from my McDonald's job, and she wished me goodbye after I left, to which I responded by waving goodbye at her. When I got home, I opened the case only to find a VHS tape that read The House of Mouse series finale, written in purple Sharpie. I was very curious about it, so I went downstairs to my basement, turned on my TV, and proceeded to put the tape into my VCR. Normally, there will be advertising for various Disney movies in the menu screen, but no, none of that showed up. It just showed the Walt Disney Home Entertainment logo, the 1999 to 2000 Disney videos, anti-piracy promo, commercial for Walt Disney World, Disney's Toontown Online, Disney's Magical Quest 2, Toon Disney, and the 2003 Disney feature presentation bumper. It then went straight to the episode. As the intro started, the theme song sounded perfectly normal, but something was off. Nobody came into the building, and the logo was filled with inverted colors instead of the typical red, white, and blue that it normally had. After the intro ended, the screen went to black and faded into the outside of the building with the name of the episode, which is called The House Goes Downhill. It then faded to the inside of the building, but all the seats were all empty. Then the microphone appeared and said, "Hello, everybody. What? Oh yeah, there are no guests here. Sorry about that. Anyways, here's Mickey Mouse." After that, Mickey Mouse introduced himself, but when he realized that there were no audience, he then went to Minnie Mouse, who was putting her makeup on, and said, "Minnie, where are all the guests?" Minnie simply replied with, "I don't know. Maybe they don't feel like watching our performances today." Mickey then went to Goofy, who was mopping the floors, and told him, "Goofy, have you seen our guests?" Goofy checks his watch and replied with, "Gosh, it's only been a few hours. They should be here right now. It's not like the fellow Toons aren't refusing to come." Mickey then went to Donald and Daisy, who were at the cashier, and asked them if the guests are coming or not. They simply told him that they haven't seen them since the time they were supposed to come here. Pluto then ran up to Mickey, and he licked him for about 7 times. He then told Pluto that the guests had not arrived yet. Pluto then whined sadly, but Mickey cheered him up by saying, "Don't worry, pal. I'll promise our guests will be here soon." Mickey then patted Pluto on the head, and he gave him a wink for his promise. Mickey then walked outside of the building, where Max was standing beside the doorway to see if any guests were here, and luckily all the Disney characters, including the various characters from Gargoyles, Bonkers, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, the Wazzles, Floppy Dogs, Marsupilami, the Shrookgnomes, and Meat Funny cartoon series, Lilo and Stitch, Home on the Range, Brother Bear, the What Should I Do series, The Brave Little Toaster, and The Adventures of the Gummy Bears started making their way into the building where the House of Mouse was located. Even Roger Rabbit, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Artesia, Bucky, Buzzsaw, Figment the Dragon, Buzzy, Lumpy, Cassie, Melody, Ibis Mel, Captain Albatross, Smolder the Bear, Turk, Kira, Kobu, Nakama, Thomas, Scamp, Angel, Dale, and John Redcorn were there. Mickey then went inside, telling all his friends that the guests had arrived. When they heard this, they immediately started cheering and proceeded to get everything ready in time for the guests to show up. After everyone was in their seats, Mike the microphone began to introduce Mickey Mouse. Mickey walked up on stage and said to the audience, "We're going to put a special cartoon on, so be prepared." The audience responded by whistling and cheering. Mickey then said, "But first, does anybody have to use the restroom before it starts?" Nobody raised their hand, indicating that they were prepared. Mickey then said, "Okay, now here's a cartoon that's sure to make you smile." Mickey then walked off stage as the screen turned on. When it turned on, there was nothing but static. It lasted for 30 seconds until the audience immediately started booing at the static that was screen. Mickey immediately hears this and goes to where Horse is and tells him about what's wrong with the cartoons. Horse then explained to Mickey that the projector was too broken to be fixed. Mickey came on stage again saying, Ladies and gentlemen, we unfortunately can't show any cartoons at the moment because our projector is extremely damaged." After he said this, the audience was completely silent. Goofy then walks onto the stage where Mickey was and says, "But don't feel bad. We got some tasty delicacies in our kitchen." When he said that, the audience then starts applauding and cheering. The screen then fades to a scene where Goofy and Gus are serving platters with various foods on them, one of which had Lady and Tramp getting served the classic spaghetti and meatball that was shown in the restaurant scene from the classic Lady and the Tramp movie. Another had Briar Fox getting what looked like the chicken and waffles meal from KFC, along with Bear, who got a double bacon and cheeseburger with onion rings on the side, and Bear Rabbit, who got a stack of red velvet pancakes. Snow White was given a Parmesan Caesar salad. Blue and Louie were given a Subway roast beef sandwich with potato chips and a berry burst salad. Pev Possum was given a Big Mac from McDonald's along with a McFlurry. Robin Hood and Maid Marian were given a flanfish sandwich with French fries, dip in barbecue sauce from McDonald's along with pot pie. Benjamin Franklin and Amos were given waffles. John Henry was given a KFC popcorn combo meal. Winnie the Pooh was given a peanut butter and honey sandwich. Roger Rabbit, Bonkers Deep, Bobcat, and Flippy the Dog and Bottom were given a tomato and olive pizza. Fat Cat was given a hot dog with ketchup and mustard. Honest John Falfallo was given a grilled steak with sunny side up eggs and bacon, while Gainey was given a chicken burrito with a Doritos Locos taco from Taco Bell, and the rest of the Disney characters were given food that looked pretty disgusting in my opinion. The guys managed to chow down on the food that were given for a bit. That was until they immediately spat out the gross mixture that was in their mouths and started to complain about the food tasting really foul. Goofy apologized to them by saying that the food that they were given had swamp water and bacteria, and due to the kitchen being very dirty. Then Prince John slapped a piece of mushroom pizza onto Goofy's face and said, "I'm gonna have White Castle instead of this piece of rubbish." "Say with me, sire," Sir Hiss shouted. "I'm gonna have Arby's as well." The Sheriff of Nottingham yelled. "Meat and I haven't eaten better food than this," yelled Schnookums. After that, all the guests started throwing their food at Goofy and Gus as they ran into the kitchen to clean up. Honestly, I don't remember the Disney characters saying about fast food restaurants in real life. Donald Duck walks up to Daisy when he heard the guests yelling and said, "Daisy, what's going on out there?" "It's probably the guests complaining about something," Daisy said. Then it cuts back to the audience complaining as Donald Duck walks into the scene and yells, "What is it with all this madness?" Everyone immediately stops what they were doing and looks at him as Don Carnage walked up to Donald Duck and said, "It's that waiter that has given us these filthy delicacies." Donald was shocked to hear this and says, "Don't worry, sir, I'll do something to make you smile." Don Carnage then pulls out his sword and says, "Oh, you better, plunderer, or else we'll slice you up into pieces. Is that right, men?" All the Don Carnage's air pirates who were sitting at some of the tables replied with, "Of course, Mr. Carnage." Donald immediately runs to the backstage from where, as the scene fades to black after a few seconds of a black screen. It fades to Mike the microphone, announcing that somebody new will be performing for tonight's concert. All the Disney characters cheer with excitement as Scrooge McDuck began to sing "She Works Hard for the Money" while dancing and throwing dollar bills all over the place. After 2 minutes throughout the song, the audience then started to throw rocks and messy foods at him while insulting him with mean phrases such as, "Your dance moves are horrible," and "Go burn in hell, you sick old duck." Once Scrooge McDuck hears about this, he immediately stops and looks at the audience, who all had angry expressions plastered onto their faces as he walks off stage, looking miserable. He then walks into the backstage area, telling Huey, Dewey, and Louie that his performance wasn't as good as it would be. They then tell Donald, Daisy, Goofy, Minnie, and Pluto about this as Mickey comes in looking confused and asks, "What's going on here, fellas?" Huey probably with, "Uncle Scrooge's stage performance wasn't impressive as he thought it would be." Mickey is shocked to hear this as it cuts to the audience bickering with each other. Mickey then comes on stage with a sad look on his face and says in a depressed voice, "Hey there, everybody. We're very sorry that our show didn't go as we planned, but at least we tried our best." After he said that, Bear Fox shouted, "Are you kidding me? That was the most dumbest nightclub we ever been to. Yeah, damaged projector, filthy delicacies, weird dance moves. This show is all messed up." Fat Cat said, "You know what? We finally had enough of this garbage." Chancellor Trample said in an angry tone, "We recently had, we're gonna," Macabre yelled, "and to make matters worse, we're going to end you all whatever you like it or not." Demona shouted as her eyes started to glow green. All the guests, minus Jafar, Maleficent, Demona, and Hades, got out of their seats and pulled out various weapons such as grenades, sniper rifles, torches, firearms, pitchforks, pistols, etc. Mickey Mouse knows this and says, "Please calm down, everyone. It's only a mistake that we made." Then all of a sudden, Stromboli pointed his rifle on the video screen and shot it. Mickey gasped, How do you like that? I destroyed the video screen," Stromboli said with a sinister smile on his face. Mickey Mouse took a few steps back and said, Mike, can you help me out there?" As Mike, the microphone, came down and started to make a policy about weapons. Bear threw his pocket knife at him and sliced his cords, making him choke and died. "We don't need that stupid microphone anymore. Is that right, Mr. Mouse?" he said with an evil grin. Mickey Mouse replied nothing with a smile and runs away in a panic while all the guests started to run after him. Mickey Mouse ran to the backstage where Donald, Pluto, Goofy, Minnie, Daisy, Horace, Clarabelle, Huey, Dewey, Louie, Scrooge McDuck, Ludwig von Drake, Gus Goose, and Max are sitting on the ground in fear and joined them. Thank goodness you're here, Mickey," Minnie said as she hugged him. "Oh gosh, you're welcome," Mickey said as he smiled at her. "Has every tune here in Toontown gone completely mad?" yelled Scrooge. Then they all saw the guests looking very frustrated as they held out their weapons. "You're all gonna pay for what you all done," Pete said in an angry tone. "I agree with my husband," said Peg Pete in a mad tone. Clarabelle told him, "What do you mean? We only try our best." Smarty then said, "We don't give a damn about your stupid antics. Now get ready to die." The screen then cut to an outside view in the House of Mouse well. Sounds of gunshots, explosion, and chainsaws could be heard, as well as the painful screams of Mickey Mouse and his pals. It then went back inside, where the mutilated bodies of Mickey and his pals were shown, as well as the rest of the Disney characters who had satisfied looks on their faces. Then Goliath said to everybody, "Now that we destroyed these pathetic people, it's time to have a blast." All the Disney characters cheer as it fades to a scene where all of characters are having crazy stuff, pole dancing, playing cards, and drinking beer while the song "Shake It" by Metro Station play in the background, which is odd because that music came out in 2007. And this goes on for about 2 minutes before it fades outside the nightclub where the House of Mouse sign is replaced by a sign that read Main Street Club. It went to the credits, but the music was replaced with "Forget You" by CeeLo Green, and the sky was green like a tornado had come. The tape then cut to static, and I then decided to take the tape out the VCR and threw it away. It was such a weird but terrible episode to watch. I hope I can find a better VHS tape or DVD of the same program. So that was House of Mouse series finale, a creepypasta, that was Lost episode themed, just like other Lost episode creepypastas I have already read. And my thoughts on it, it's rather unhinged, but gets rather brutal by the end of it, and crazy too. Well, like the story itself, it's just like a classic old Lost episode creepypasta with the protagonist finds a VHS tape of that Lost episode, or just given by a friend, and things get rather weird for that VHS tape of that Lost episode, and which goes on for until the end of it, and I think the ending of this creepypasta is rather crazy with all the Disney characters just eliminate Mickey and his pals. God damn, is this represent how people feel about Disney nowadays? This has to be some kind of a pretty deep metaphor about it. So yeah, and also the scene with Scrooge McDuck dancing to I think, what's that song called? Let's see. Oh yeah, it's I think it's called "She Works Hard for the Money" while doing that one trendy dance that has been a thing since 2014, which is kind of funny. But by the end of the story, it just gets rather crazy with the Mickey and his pals witnessing their demise. After failing to entertain the various Disney characters. So there's that. So yeah. Anything else to say about this creepypasta? Well, it's kind of unhinged in a rather good way. But it's just like a typical Lost episode creepypasta type of story. Since like a House of Mouse creepypasta is rather intriguing, but this is kind of rather unhinged, especially by the end of it. So yeah, so that's my creepypasta reading on. Hang on a sec. House of Mouse series finale. I just hope you guys enjoyed this creepypasta reading video. Like and comment this video and subscribe for more content. So this is Mr. Freddy here, and I hope you have a very good day. So bye.